Hello YouTube, it's Jackson here. Welcome back to the weekly endeavours for, I think it's like the 11th of November onwards. Sorry, as I said before, I had a cold, so I couldn't really find the time to do this in the past couple of days, just because my nose is so blocked. I feel like it would just obnoxious trying to listen to me in that case. Yeah, I feel a bit better now, so we can jump into the weekly endeavours. Now, one of the options I think was really good if you had a lot of days to do it, using writs, but I'll still try my best to go through this one. But honestly, duels is still going to be the best, so I'll just cover that first. So, duels. You go find any player, you walk up to them, you'll see a button that comes up that says hold to interact. You just hold this down, and in this player interaction wheel here, dueling is at the top left. Now, you have to do this 5 times, and all that happens is basically just you fight each other, and you just, yeah, it ends when one of you dies, essentially. So I'm just going to quickly get my other character to kill this one. So the optimum way to do this is to res at Wayshrine. The reason for this is when you normally res, you know how you have that, like, it does the animation for you coming back up, and then you go, like, see-through for a while. It's like 10 seconds or so, or 5 seconds. While that's happening, you can't do anything, whereas this option, you can vigor immediately, and then get, like, all your health back, and then you can immediately just jump straight into another duel. So if I just do this, do another duel, and then I'll just bomb this one real quick. Wait. Okay, it said I had a fucking Grim Focus proc, so I'll just res that Wayshrine, and then vigor, and then immediately my health is back to full, and now I can just immediately duel again. So that just skips the initial, like, waiting around for the for you getting your character, like, resurrected. The only issue is you need to be next to Wayshrine, but in most cases in duels, you're probably going to be next to Wayshrine anyway. There's some good places for this, like Vocal Guard's probably one of the best. There's usually just people chilling around here, waiting for a duel. That'll just, like, ask in Oridon Zone Chat or Kraglin Zone Chat and just wait at Belkarth Wayshrine and see if people want to duel there, or just see if someone in your guild wants to duel and go to their house, because if you res at Wayshrine in a house, it always takes you to the front door. So it's also quite convenient doing that in a house. There are some places where you can find good players to duel. As far as I'm aware, one of the places that, like, experienced PvPers go to duel is over here. I don't know if it's, like, courteous to just, like, ask them for a duel. I don't know how that whole culture works, because I'm not a PvEer. So yeah, that's from what I've heard, that's where they hang out. And this Wayshrine could also be a good option too, because I see duelers over here too. But again, I don't know what the ethic is there, if you can just go in and ask them to. You should be able to. It is nice that they do it outside of cities, so you're not listening to all the bloody crazy sound effects. Forfeiting duels. The only way you can forfeit it is when that flag pops up when the duel starts. If you run too far away from that flag, it will count as forfeiting the duel. So it still works for you if the other player forfeits, but yeah, for best effect, just make sure you just kind of stay close and just, yeah, even if you just don't really fight, if you're that worried about, like, staying in the area, just let them kill you in that case, because yeah, it's not worth worrying about. There's not really much else to talk about there. There's, like, if you want to know, like, good dueling builds, I'm not really the person to go for there. I'm sure there's people that have, like, good dueling builds. That being said, it's probably not a great idea to base your entire PvP build on just, like, 1v1s, because that's not exactly how Cyrodiil works, or Battlegrounds, or anything like that. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, daily quests. So 16 in what is going to be now, like, effectively 2.5 days is not a lot of time. Writs is, if you can do writs on both Saturday and Sunday, you can do this pretty quick, but only if you've got, like, every single possible writ, because 7 writs in a day, that's 14, and then just a couple more daily quests alongside that. That's the only way I would really bother with this. So if you can, that's the thing, like, if you can do those sorts of writs just on demand, you're probably not watching this video, right? So that's the only time I would do it. So there's 7 writs in this game. There's the Clothier, Blacksmith, Woodworking, as the 3 equipment ones, and then you've got jewelry crafting if you've got Somerset, and then there's the enchanting, alchemy, and provisioning writs for the consumables writs. So yeah, you need resources for all of them. So for example, clothier writs, you need like ancestor silk or whatever clothing material that you've got up like to the level that you're on. You don't need to do like the high tier writs. Even if you could do like the level 1 stuff with jute and all that stuff, it's still worth doing. But you might have to forage around to find stuff for it. Because, for example, the alchemy writs too, they require a couple of alchemy ingredients, like Nernroot, or I think one of them is mud crab chitin. And in that case, that stuff's expensive, so trying to get your hands on that can be painful. You can kill some mud crabs, obviously, but yeah, a bit of work. Now, there's shit tons of videos that explain writs better than I can. If people want me to, I can like eventually do like my own writ guide, but I just feel like that's something that's just been covered up so much in the past that, yeah, I don't know. But you tell me. The best place to do your writs is Vivek City, just over here, because you've got the consumable writs, the equipment writs here, and then you've got the consumable writs over the other side, and you've got every single crafting station in like this small area, as well as an outdoor bank, and I'm pretty sure you can also use these certifiers here to get your writs as well. So, if you're not familiar, Millenith here is the one that gives you your 3 main equipment writs, and then Denel Tolino is the one that gives you your consumable writs. The only one that you don't get from these is the jewelry crafting one, which you get from Somerset over here. And I think it's Valerian, his name is? I can't remember though. There's a lot of guides out there to explain writs. I'll put a couple of them in the description, but you don't you probably want to watch one just to get like the good ideas. But yeah, that's like the basics of it. So yeah, I think that should be okay for you. And yeah, if you still got questions, just give me a holler, as always. If you want to know what a daily quest is, because I'm about to go through some other options, anything that comes up with this blue quest icon is a daily quest. Some are considered guild dailies, and that's a different option entirely. But today it's just daily quests, so you don't have to worry about that. But just, yeah, always just watch what the daily says, because they do show up from time to time, daily guild quests or guild dailies. So, one of the options I think are really good is the Mage's Guild daily quest, and the reason for that is these are always in a public dungeon. There's a single chest that you have to loot in a relatively easy to reach location, and almost every public dungeon that you can get to is either close to a boatswain traveling option, or a house that you can travel to with home tours. For example, this one here, you've got Seaborn Villa that you can travel to directly. So in the description, I will show you how there'll be a tutorial guide for home tours, how to use it to teleport around. It's really helpful. You don't need to pay any gold. It's like you can do it on any character from like level 3. So yeah, it's just really handy. Now, if you can do a quest like this, all these quests here are going to be the same. Like, if you can do these on a Nightblade with Cloak, or a Stage 4 Vampire with like a sprint build that can go invisible, it will help because you can avoid a lot of the enemies that you have to fight in there. But it's not mandatory. It's just really helpful, because that way you can just ignore fighting unless you absolutely want to, like if you want to beat a boss or whatever. But you don't have to fight anything for this daily quest here. That's what's really good about it. Now, there's other daily quests from various guilds. There's one for the Fighters Guild around like right next to the Mage's Guild one. That one you just have to beat a Dolmen in one of the dungeons. One of the zones. There's also an Undaunted daily, which as of right now is not. You can't complete them because they changed the fucking some of the delves in the game. So yeah, weird, but yeah. All right, so you can, if you point here and jump, you can eventually get up there and just skip that run around here entirely, and just save you a bit of time. This is just exclusive to Toothmole Gully though. If you're going that route, if you're going from the home, it'll be going the other way anyway. Okay. So here's an example of like a van prison build to make this easier. There are traps on the ground, so I always hang to the left a bit to avoid those. Doesn't always work though. Nice, I avoided them. Right, so the chest is always located near the group event, in this case right here. I'll just grab that. And then here's where you might want to invest in a little bit of gold. So in Deshan, this house here, Flaming Nyx Deluxe Garret, you can buy this for about 13 or it's like 16 or 13, something like that, 1,000. And you can use it just like home tours to travel to, and that way you can just skip having to go through leaving the dungeon, dealing with all the enemies, or like running all the way back. You can just travel straight here, and it just skips a lot of the time. So you just, yeah, you waste less time that way. You can do this in the other capitals cities, because you can do these dailies in the other capitals, but it doesn't matter what alliance you are. You can do these in Deshan. And I just like Deshan because this is the cheapest of the 3 capital city like houses that you can use. And honestly, it's the most practical anyway, because with Elden Root, you have to go on foot to get into the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild. And then in Stormhaven, even though this option is pretty good, this option is like hundreds of thousands of gold. So not everyone, I imagine, is going to have that kind of gold lying around. If you've got the house, great, use it. But yeah, if not, don't worry about it. So before you hand this quest in, just first check allies, companions. If you've got Ember, just bring her out for a sec. Because when you complete this quest with Ember, it gives her a shit ton of rapport. I'll just hand that in. And yeah, you'll see the yellow Ember icon there, so that means that works. So if you care about their quest line, that's how you... that's an easy way to like progress it. So yeah, I can see that's one daily quest. That's the problem. You need to do a shit ton of these. So you'd have to do a lot of these on like multiple characters if you want to do it that way. But if you want to continue, there are some other ones you can do that are very similar. I think the later options are better. Unfortunately, all the other like, because you've got the Fighters and Mages Guild ones. That's 2, and they're pretty easy. So I'd suggest doing them if you want to. But like Hrothgar has some daily delves, some daily world bosses. You can do those. Every DLC zone has like a daily delve quest and a daily dungeon quest. Oh, sorry, daily world boss quest. The world boss quests are harder because you have to actually kill the world boss, I'm pretty sure. But a lot of the daily delve ones later on, you don't have to actually kill anything, which is excellent because it means you can just go there to the delve, do the stuff, and then just leave and not have to fight anything. And it just means you're not worrying about like waiting for stuff to respawn. You can just jump straight in and get it all done and then get out. Now there's also the 2 guild dailies related to Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild. Those count as daily quests too, and they're pretty damn easy as well. Like the Thieves Guild one, doing the heist, it doesn't give you a bounty at all, and usually you can get that done in just like a few minutes. Sometimes it's a bit of a pain, but yeah. The Dark Brotherhood one, also very quick, but prone to getting bounties in that case. So yeah, you just want to be a bit careful. I'm just trying to remember how to get up here. Because I'm pretty sure it's over here, isn't it? That you have to go? Or is it over here? Oh, it is over here. Sorry, I made a mistake. So this is the daily quest givers for Fargrave, which is the Deadlands option. So you've got this one here. This is the world boss one, so the Unmaker. This boss is frustrating, I think. Quite difficult to do if you're on your own. You just make sure you stay in melee range, I believe. Otherwise, they do like a attack that stuns you, and then you have to. Someone else has to interrupt it to stop it killing you. This one, on the other hand, is much easier. So this one gets you to go to a delve. So we go to Deadlands, and it'll be over here now. Unfortunately, oh no, Deadlands does have a house. Oh yeah, there's a fucking... Nereid here. I forgot about that. Alright, so I'm just going to go to the way shrine. So I'll just show you how I would do one of these. So again, I just use home tours with Agony's Ascent to get here for the first time and unlock a way shrine. Or you can use the tunnels that are found here. Oh, no, sorry, over here. So if you go this way, should be portals over here that you can use. Yeah. So one of these portals leads to this portal here. And you can use that to get over. So I don't remember what the sever or the burn is. Fuck, I'll just see how it goes. Oh, that was the right one. Okay, so you'd just start from whichever one that was. And yeah, you just travel a bit northwest to get to that one. As an example here, this one, you just got to collect some relics. You don't have to fight anything here. So I use Vampirism just to fucking skip everything. You might have to kill 1 or 2 enemies around where the items are found, but that's kind of it. In this case, yeah, it's just Iron Astronaut. But like, I think you can just come over here and grab this item. Yep. Yeah, so yeah, you can just cheese a couple of them. Another one over here I just need to grab first. Yeah, here we go. I have to kill these guys. Okay. Grab this. The Sky Shard's just there as well, so you can go grab that if you need it. A couple of enemies next to it that you'll probably have to kill before you grab it though. Right, into the next area, same thing, so I'm just gonna gather up a bit of sprint time to get invisibility going before I go through. There's a chest there. Another one here. More in here. Oh yeah, this, I'm pretty sure that's blocked off, so you have to go the other way around. So if you want to know what this build that I'm running is to get invisibility and, like, look at the amount of stamina I use to sprint. It's just, it's nothing. This is the Vampirism sprint build. I have a video of it that I made a while back, so I'll link that to you if you want it. Yeah, it's just 5-piece Dark Stride, 5-piece... I use Order's Wrath, but I use Ring of the Wild Hunt. If you can't get Wild Hunt, just use Coward's Gear or use Adept Rider. If you want to use Cloak at the same time on a Magicka build, probably go Adept Rider. Alright, so now we've got all of the pieces, and we can just go straight back. So yeah, no boss fighting there, it's great. So what you can do is, instead of traveling away and taking ages getting there, you can either travel to the Way Shrine. If it's like the gold amount is low, even if it's like 600, it's fine, because you get a lot for completing the quest. But you can also travel to Mirror Isle using home tours, so I'll just go... Let's show you how this works. There is a video explaining it properly, but... Yeah, just go... Yeah, I was rudely interrupted there, so... Oh, what the fuck? Fucking hell. Every time they try and fix this bloody animation shit, they just break it even more. Okay, so Shadow Mirror Isle is here. Let's use one of those. And we are taken to Fargrave. So it's not going to be that simple for, like, some of the places, but most, like, most major cities with a quest giver like that has a house in there somewhere that you can get, that you can use in home tours. Let's come over here. Hand that one in. And that's also another daily quest done. And this is good if you want the Mark and Ring of Majesty, because this is one of the leads that you can get through this one here. Focus script as well. Got that one though. Yeah, like every single DLC zone has this. So Vardenfell has it, so that's a base game option. But it's like you've also got Clockwork City has them, Fargrave has them, Deadlands has them. Oh, sorry, Fargrave is Deadlands 1. Somerset has them, Solstice has them, Greymoor, Blackwood, yeah, all the DLC zones have one, Orsinium, all that stuff. Does Clockwork City have world bosses? It does. Okay. I don't think I've ever fought them. Alright, now let's look at just defeating enemies. So, just hurt enemies, and then when they die, it counts. So even if you don't kill them, it still works. It's really good. So, there are so many places that you can go to do this, but you want to do it quickly, so I'll just go through a couple of options and just sort of highlight the strengths and weaknesses of it. So, Dominance is probably the most like relaxed way, I'd say. Because Domins themselves are pretty straightforward. You can do this, like, even on a new character, honestly, you can just do a Domin on your own. You just need, like, a self-heal, and most classes start with one. Just some things to help you, though. These pinions here are kind of your lifeline, if you're on your own. Because when when enemies die around these pinions, they, like, their souls go into them, something like that. So you can see it right there. If I kill this one, you'll see a soul head straight into it, like that. Boop. And so if you kill enough enemies, they open up. Ow. And what will happen is you can activate it, and you can get your resources back. So if that one goes in, if I just absolutely obliterate my stamina... Come on. I'm trying to prove a point here. And I just use this, it gives me all my resources back. So, as you kill all the enemies, just use those to get your resources back so you can keep fighting. Normally, Dolmens are a pretty damn good source of XP, especially when there's lots of players here, because more enemies will spawn and thus more XP. And the enemies don't really, their extra health doesn't go up, so all the enemies are really, they die really quick, so you do have to try and make sure you get a hit in when there's too many players. But it's still a good source of XP, and as long as you, as I said, as long as you deal a bit of damage, it'll count for the Endeavor, so that doesn't really matter. That's why they're good. Because another great thing about Dolmens is they're constantly active. Once this one goes down, the one down here will pop up after 30 seconds, and then when that one's done, the one over here pops up after 30 seconds, and it just repeats, then this one's up, vice versa. So it's just constantly stuff going on with these Dolmens. So you get one of these dread enemies. This is the toughest enemy that you'll face. They're about as tough as a public... Oh god, bit of lag. About as tough as a public dungeon boss will be. So, yeah, pretty straightforward. Grab that pinion, and that's the Dolmen done. So you just keep doing that over and over until you get your 300 enemies. That will be the slowest option, but especially when there's lots of other players, it's like the most... it's the one where your skill kind of matters the least. The more players there are, the better it'll be. So maybe Alikir Desert might be a good option today, but that tends to be the most busy place, and sometimes it can get too busy. It just depends on the time of day. If you go on and it's prime time, probably go to Auradon, because there'll still be people there, maybe. But I don't know, it changes from time to time. But yeah, definitely check out Alikir Desert if you want. Deshawn's ones are pretty good for doing... sometimes as well, but that one's also not as busy. Same with the Auradon ones. These can be sometimes busy, sometimes not. But the ones in Deshaan, they give you Mother's Sorrow, which is a good Magicka damage dealer set in this game. So if you haven't got like a build set up that does damage, you could go get some of those. And I guess. Nah, it doesn't really work, does it? You want to do the Fighters Guild daily quest, but you'll get your enemies before you get 16 Fighters Guild quests, probably, so yeah. Public dungeons are also a pretty good way to get, kills in quick succession. The advantages of public dungeons are you'll kill more enemies at a time than you will at Dolmens. So, just looking at this group here, there's just a small group of enemies here. kill these guys here, and then move on, and there'll be another group of enemies. Like, obviously, a group of enemies will spawn after the dolmen immediately, but like here, you don't have to deal with like the traveling between dolmens. Here, it'll just constantly be stuff that you can kill in each area, provided that you don't. Provided that you can visit enough areas with enemies in it. So enemies here, you see what I mean? You just go through and kill all the different groups of enemies. Now, the weaknesses of public dungeons is that it's much more impacted by other players. If someone else comes through here now after I've done this, they're not going to be able to kill any of this stuff here. If they go through and kill all the enemies that I'm killing at the same time, potentially they could get a lot of kills for the Endeavor too. But if I kill stuff too quickly, or if they kill stuff too quickly and the other person doesn't get participation, then it just kind of goes off the rails a bit. So yes, public dungeons are efficient, only if you can get here and nobody else is here though. And there's a lot of public dungeons out there. There's 2 in each of the DLC, large DLC zones. Each of the original base game zones have a public dungeon in them, including Cold Harbor. If you still have to do the Gone Pursuit, Village of the Lost is a great way to get a lot of Humanoid Daedra and bows in Cold Harbor, which at this point in time, this will likely be much better to do because there'll be a lot less people trying to do this at the same time. Because when this started, there were fucking heaps of people there. I imagine now it's not as bad. So if you want the best places for like lots of enemies, yeah, Village of the Lost is really good. Crimson Cove is one of the best. Same with Reaper's March in regards to Valmant. These 3 here just have shit tons of enemies all over the place. Now, I do think there is a better option here. I think, yeah, people have probably seen it to death now, but yeah, Scourge Catacombs is just the best. There's no better alternative. The Scourge Catacombs, it has about 280 enemies, and the strengths are it's instanced, so nobody else can actually go in there and kill all the enemies that you want to kill. They're always ready to go once you get in there. The drawbacks are it's noticeably tougher than public dungeons. There's a lot of enemies that you have to fight if you want to do it quickly. And yeah, 280 enemies, you do have to do a little bit extra outside to get it done. But at that point, you know, you could just do one dolmen and probably get it all done. Or, you know, just visit like a area with some enemies in it in Craglorn, and yeah, it'll get done by that point. So yeah. Also, you probably want to have some kind of snare remover. For example, Nightblades, you get Phantasmal Escape. This is probably the one I'd choose, but yeah. Alright, so the typical build you want to use for something like this is just like 5 piece of a 1 damage set, 5 piece of another damage set, and then arena weapons are good, but yeah, obviously you have to do arenas for that. So in that case, just use 5 pieces on the back bar too. And a monster set if you can. That's kind of like the typical build, alongside mythics, obviously, if you got them, but it's not important. If you're not familiar or if you're not sure, just go a Magicka build, because I find those to heal better with like the Magicka class skills. I go 5 piece Order's Wrath, 5 piece probably Mother's Sorrow is like the easy one to get, or you can also go nowadays Tideborn Wildstalker. You can get that crafted too. That's a really good one. Or you can get, if you can transmute the Jury to like a good Magicka option, you could go Venomous as well from Greymore, something like that. That's an easy option. And then you want lots of AoE. So I've got Twisting Path from Nightblades. I've got Wall of Fire. You want some kind of two-handed ground targeted AoE from a weapon skill line. So Critical Charge, Mortar Stampede, Wall, or Volley. Because on the back bar you want to run weapon damage enchant and infused weapon, so you can get a lot of weapon damage from this always. Because when this is on the ground, any enemy that gets hit by this is applying that enchant, so it's a lot of damage to get from it. It's a bit different how this works when it comes to getting class kills or weapon kills, but because that stuff doesn't matter, you can just kill everything and just not give a shit about it. So yeah, don't worry about that stuff. Alright, so from this Weishun here, if you haven't got any Weishuns in Craglorn, my advice is, again, home tours. Just use Earthia Cavern, start here, go north, go down this road here, and unlock this Weishun. And then from here, if you've got Breakfall, you can just run over here, go down this rock here, and just jump straight down here, and you'll survive the fall. With a little bit of health left, but you'll still survive it. That's the main thing. Now, I prefer myself running, instead of Elemental Drain, I run the Phantasmal Escape. But yeah, it's up to you which one you want to run there. Elemental Drain will give you better damage on the enemies, the big enemies, but if your damage is high enough, it doesn't really matter anyway. Alright, here we go. Swapping out of Wild Hunt. Alright, so this room, I always pull this separately, because I find the enemies struggle to get through that room there. Yeah, lots of AoE. Lots and lots of AoE, that's what you're looking for. So this Nightblade uses Sap Essence, Twisting Path. I use Phantasmal Escape to stop the snares. And I keep using Twisting Path to move around quick. Group all the enemies. All the enemy skeletons from these bone mounds, just make sure you pull them out. Raw dodge the aspects of terror if you can. And line of sight all the enemies so they go into this little corridor right here. And once they all group up, head outside, and then AoE all the enemies down. Because I have so much damage, I just kill them all too quick though. Just, yeah, keep breaking free from the fears. That'll happen all the time. Over here to get all the AoEs if we need to. Yeah, you can see all the enemies just constantly pour in from random areas. Because as you kill them, more of them spawn from areas that you've just aggroed from. So you do have to be a bit patient there. Keep moving. You could pull this group over with you, or like do it here, but I just find sometimes the AI struggles to come back over. I come over to this spot here. Oh my god, I'm stuck. Okay, there we go. Over here to pull some of the ranged enemies over. That's everyone. Alright, so what I prefer to do in this room is I grab this first and then pull all the enemies for second. But if you want an easier run, just kill the enemies in here first and then activate the chest. But if you want maximum enemies per second, basically, you start the chest up first, wait for it to like sizzle like that, and then pull all the enemies from each of these areas here. Pull that one. There we go. Ultimate on the ground. Probably should use Veil of Blades, not Destruction Ultimate, but it doesn't really matter too much. So if you want to pull the ranged enemies over, just come over to this spot. It should pull them into your ultimate in the middle. You just want to pull, like, keep everything in the middle. For this reason here. Just ulting the shit out of them. So these enemies will just spawn from the middle constantly. That's all you need to worry about now. If that unyielding mace heavy attack hits you, it will slow you, so you want to roll dodge it if you can, or just run away from it if you know you can avoid it in time. Just keep moving in a circle because it stops the enemies from hitting you, which is good defensive tactic. So this thing here, it slows you if it hits you. Shouldn't be much more enemies. That should be it, I think. This thing will shine when it's done. There we go. You get a purple item. and then you can continue. So now you just repeat the process coming down this way, all the way down here, and then just group all the enemies up here. The only thing I don't do is pull these guys here, because they are fucking brutal. That dude there, the Cursed Orator, he does shit tons of damage. He's nasty. So I just avoid fighting him. Make sure you pull that Boneyard there. Bone Mound. Skeletons over there. Pull them. Skeleton Mound here. Skeleton Mound there. And just basically right here. Run over here. Get all the enemies to come over. And see, they're all the ranged enemies pile up here for some fucking reason. But it's just perfect. Oh yeah. Break free. Keep moving. And there we go, 300 enemies. We'd be about 250 by now, I think. Again, just run back. Get the enemies to pull closer, all the ranged enemies are over, and now we just stack all the enemies on the ranged enemies. And that's it. We've killed pretty much everything in here. There are a couple of enemies left that we can go and fight, but it's mostly just like bosses and shit, so what I would prefer to do is just leave. Probably the quickest enemies to get to from here. There's probably some Iron Orcs up here that you can kill. There's quite a few enemies up here. And there's like the is it the Fanged Court? The Snake Scaled Court, sorry. The Serpent followers. They're around these areas as well. Alright. I'll leave it there. If you have any questions about build to use for this, or just combat in general, just give me a holler, or if you have any issues with anything else here, you know how it is. Just send me a question, I'll help you. But I'll leave it there for now. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. Take care for now. And yeah, enjoy your Friday and your weekend and all that.